Still no news. None last night, none this morning. 3 days without news. Strange indeed. Our messengers go out, our messengers return, and always they shake their heads and say nothing. They've combed the whole countryside. What more can be done? We can only wait. It's no use meeting trouble halfway. Perhaps he'll return as abruptly as he left us. When I saw him leaving the palace, I noticed a queer look in his eyes. Yes, so did I. In fact, I asked him what was amiss. Did he answer? One word. Nothing. It's all very perturbing. Oh, come now. All young fellows are like that. You're right there. They take things hard, but time soothes everything out. Do you really think so? Of course. For one girl dead, a dozen living ones. Ah. So you think that there's a girl behind it? What else should there be? Anyhow, thank goodness. Grief never lasts forever. Is any one of us here capable of mourning a loss for more than a year on end? Not I, anyhow. Not one can do that. Life would be intolerable if one could. Quite so. Take my case. I lost my wife last year. I shed many tears, and then I forgot. Even now I feel a pang of grief at times, but happily it doesn't amount to much. Yes, nature's a great healer. Well, still nothing. Come, gentlemen, there's no need for consternation. I agree. Worrying won't mend matters, and it's lunchtime. That's so. We mustn't drop the prey for the shadow. I don't like the look of things, but all was going too smoothly. As an emperor, he was perfection's self. Yes, exactly. The emperor we wanted. Conscientious and inexperienced. Well, what's come over you? There's no reason for all these lamentations. We've no ground for assuming he will change. Let's say he loved Drusilla, only naturally. She was his sister, or say his love for her was something more than brotherly. Shocking enough, I grant you, but it's really going too far, setting all Rome in a turmoil because the girl has died. Maybe, but as I said, I don't like the look of things. This escapade alarms me. Yes, there's never smoke without fire. In any case, the interests of the state should prevent his making a public tragedy of let's say, regrettable attachment. No doubt such things happen, but the less said, the better. How can you be sure Drusilla is the cause of all this trouble? Who else should it be? Nobody at all, quite likely. When there's a host of explanations to choose from, why pick on the stupidest, most obvious one? Well, still nothing, except that some peasants think they saw him last night, not far from home, rushing through the storm. That makes 3 days, Scipio, doesn't it? Yes, I was there, following him as I usually do. He went up to Drusilla's body. He stroked it with 2 fingers and seemed lost in thought for a long while. Then he swung round and walked out calmly enough. And ever since, we've been hunting for him. In vain. That young man was too fond of literature. Oh, at his age, you know. At his age, perhaps, but not in his position. An artistic emperor is an anomaly. I grant you, we've had 1 or 2 misfits happen in the best of empires, but the others had the good taste to remember they were public servants. It made things run more smoothly. One man, one job, that's how it should be. What can we do, Cherry? Nothing. We can only wait. If he doesn't return, a successor will have to be found. Between ourselves, there's no shortage of candidates. No, but there's a shortage of the right sort. Suppose he comes back in an ugly mood. Oh, he's a mere boy. We'll make him see reason. And what if he declines to see it? In that case, my friend, Don't forget, I once wrote a manual of revolutions. You'll find all the rules there. I'll look it up, if things come to that, but I'd rather be left to my books. If you'll excuse me. He's offended. Scipio is young, and young people always hang together. Scipio doesn't count, anyhow. Caligula has been seen in the palace gardens. Good morning, Caius. Good morning, Helicon. You're looking tired. I've walked a lot. Yes, you've been away for quite a while. It was hard to find. What was hard to find? What I was after. Meaning? The moon. What? Yes, I wanted the moon. Ah, and why did you want it? Well, it's one of the things I haven't got. I see. And now have you fixed it up to your satisfaction? No, I couldn't get it. Too bad. Yes, and that's why I'm tired. Helicon. Yes, Caius. No doubt. You think I'm crazy. As you know well, I never think. Ah, yes. Now listen, I'm not mad. In fact, I've never felt so lucid. What happened to me is quite simple. I suddenly felt a desire for the impossible. That's all. Things as they are, in my opinion, are far from satisfactory. Many people share your opinion. That is so, but in the past I didn't realize it. Now I know. Really, this world of ours, the scheme of things as they call it, is quite intolerable. That's why I want the moon or happiness or eternal life, something, in fact, that may sound crazy, but which isn't of this world. That's sound enough in theory, only in practice one can't carry it through to its conclusion. You're wrong there. It's just because no one dares to follow up his ideas to the end that nothing is achieved. All that's needed, I should say, is to be logical right through at all costs. I can see, too, what you're thinking. What a fuss over a woman's death. But that's not it. True enough. I seem to remember that a woman died some days ago. A woman whom I loved. But love, what is it? A side issue. And I swear to you, her death is not the point. It's no more than the symbol of a truth that makes the moon essential to me. A childishly simple, obvious, almost silly truth, but one that's hard to come by and heavy to endure. May I know what it is, this truth that you've discovered? Men die, and they are not happy. Anyhow, Caligula, it's a truth with which one comes to terms, without much trouble. Only look at the people over there. This truth of yours doesn't prevent them from enjoying their meal. All it proves is that I'm surrounded by lies and self-deception, but I've had enough of that. I wish men to live by the light of truth, and I've the power to make them do so. But I know what they need and haven't got. They're without understanding, and they need a teacher, someone who knows what he's talking about. Don't take offense, Caius, if I give you a word of advice. But that can wait. First, you should have some rest. It's not possible, Helicon. I shall never have rest again. But why? If I sleep, who will give me the moon? That's true. Listen, Helicon, I hear footsteps, voices. Say nothing, and forget you've seen me. I understand. And please help me from now on. I've no reason not to do so, Caius, but I know very few things, and very few things interest me. In what way can I help you? In the way of the impossible. I'll do my best. No one. Haven't you seen him? No. Tell me, Helicon, are you quite sure he didn't say anything to you before he went away? I'm not a sharer of his secrets. I'm his public, a mere onlooker. It's more prudent. Please don't talk like that. My dear Casonia, Caius is an idealist, and as we all know, he follows his bent, and no one can foresee where it will take him. But if you'll excuse me, I'll go to lunch. One of the palace guards saw him go by, but all Rome sees Caligula everywhere, and Caligula, of course, sees nothing but his own idea. What idea? How can I tell Scipio? Are you thinking of Drusilla? Perhaps. One thing is sure, he loved her. And it's a cruel thing to have someone die today whom only yesterday you were holding in your arms. And you? Oh, I'm the old trusted mistress. That's my role. Casonia, we must save him. So you too love him. Yes, he's been very good to me. He encouraged me. I shall never forget some of the things he said. He told me life isn't easy, but it has consolations. Religion, art, and the love one inspires in others. He often told me that the only mistake one makes in life is to cause others suffering. He tried to be a just man. He's only a child. The only God I've ever had is my body, and now I shall pray this God of mine to give Caius back to me. We, we've been looking for you, Caesar, high and low. So I see. We, I mean, what do you want? We were feeling anxious, Caesar. What business had you to feel anxious? Well, uh, as you know, there are points to be settled in connection with the treasury. Ah, yes, the treasury. That's so. The treasury is of prime importance. Yes, indeed. Don't you agree, my dear? The treasury is all important. No, Caligula, it's a secondary matter. That only shows your ignorance. We are extremely interested in our treasury. Everything's important. Our fiscal system, public morals, foreign policy, army equipment, and agrarian laws. Everything's of cardinal importance, I assure you. And everything's on an equal footing. The grandeur of Rome and your attacks on arthritis. Well, I'm going to apply my mind to all that, and to begin with, now listen. Now listen well, intendant. We are listening, sir. You are a loyal subjects, are you not? Oh, Caesar. Well, I'm something to propose to you. We're going to make a complete change in our economic system in 2 moves, drastic and abrupt. I'll explain, intendant, when the patricians have left. Now mark my words, the first move's this. Every patrician, everyone in the empire who has any capital, small, large, it's all the same thing, is ordered to disinherit his children and make a new will leaving his money to the state. But Caesar, I've not yet given you leave to speak. As the need arises, we shall have these people die. A list will be drawn up by us, fixing the order of their deaths. When the fancy takes us, we may modify that order, and of course, we shall step into their money. But what's come over you? Obviously, the order of their going has no importance, or rather all these executions have an equal importance, from which it follows that none has any. Really, all those fellows are on a par, one's as guilty as another. You are to promulgate this edict without a moment's delay, and see it's carried out forthwith. The wills are to be signed by residents in Rome this evening, within a month at the latest, by persons in the provinces. Send out your messengers. Caesar, I wonder if you realize. Do I realize? Now listen well, you fool. If the treasury has paramount importance, human life has none. That should be obvious to you. People who think like you are bound to admit the logic of my edict, and since money is the only thing that counts, should set no value on their lives or anyone else's. I have resolved to be logical, and I have the power to enforce my will. Presently you'll see what logic's going to cost you. I shall eliminate contradictions and contradictors. If necessary, I'll begin with you. Caesar, my good will can be relied on, that I swear. And mine too, that I guarantee. Just see how ready I am to adopt your point of view and give the treasury the first place in my program. Really, you should be grateful to me. I'm playing into your hand and with your own cards. In any case, there is a touch of genius in the simplicity of my plan, which clinches the matter. I give you 3 seconds in which to remove yourself. 1. I can't believe it's you, but it was just a joke, wasn't it? All you said to him. Not quite that, Casonia. Let's say a lesson in statesmanship. But Caius, it's impossible. That's the whole point. I don't follow. I repeat, that is my point. I'm exploiting the impossible, or more accurately, it's a question of making the impossible possible. But that game may lead to anything. It's a lunatic's pastime. No, Scipio. An emperor's vocation. Ah, my dears, at last I've come to see the uses of supremacy. It gives impossibilities a run. From this day on, so long as life is mine, my freedom has no frontier. I doubt if this discovery of yours will make us any happier. So do I. But I suppose we'll have to live it through. I have just heard of your return. I trust your health is all it should be. My health is duly grateful. Leave us, Chariot. I don't want to see you. Really, Caius, I'm amazed. There's nothing to be amazed at. I don't like literary men, and I can't bear lies. If we lie, it's often without knowing it. I plead not guilty. Lies are never guiltless, and yours attribute importance to people and to things. That's what I cannot forgive you. And yet, since this world is the only one we have, why not plead its cause? Your pleading comes too late. The verdict's given. This world has no importance. Once a man realizes that, he wins his freedom. And that is why I hate you, you and your kind, because you are not free. You see in me the one free man in the whole Roman Empire. You should be given to have at least among you an emperor who points the way to freedom. Leave me, Cheria, and you too, Scipio. Go. For what is friendship? Go, both of you, and spread the news in Rome that freedom has been given her at last. And with the gift begins a great probation. Crying? Yes, Caesonia. But after all, what's changed in your life? You may have loved Drusilla, but you loved many others, myself included, at the same time. Surely that wasn't enough to set you roaming the countryside for 3 days and nights and bring you back with us. This cruel look on your face. What nonsense is this? Why drag in Drusilla? Do you imagine love's the only thing that can make a man shed tears? I'm sorry, Caius. Only I was trying to understand. Men weep because the world's all wrong. No, Caesonia, but stay beside me. I'll do whatever you wish. My age, no one knows that life's a sad business, but why deliberately set out to make it worse? No, it's no good. You can't understand, but what matter? Perhaps I'll find a way out, only I feel a curious stirring within me, as if underdreamed of things were forcing their way up into the light, and I'm helpless against them. Oh, Caesonia, I knew that Melton felt anguish, but I didn't know what that word anguish meant. Like everyone else, I fancied it was a sickness of the mind, no more. But no, it's my body that's in pain. Pain everywhere, in my chest, in my legs, and in arms, and even my skin is raw. My head is buzzing. I feel like vomiting. But worst of all is this queer taste in my mouth. Not blood, or death, or fever, but a mixture of all three. I've only to stir my tongue and the world goes black, and everyone looks horrible. How hard, how cruel it is, this process of becoming a man. What you need, my dear, is a good, long sleep. Let yourself relax, and above all, stop thinking. I'll stay by you while you sleep, and when you wake, you'll find the world's got back its savor. Then you must use your power to good effect. For loving better what you will still find lovable, for the possible too deserves to be given a chance. But for that I'd need to sleep, to let myself go, and that's impossible. So one always thinks when one is overtired. A time comes when one's hand is firm again. But one must know where to place it. And what's the use to me of a firm hand? What use is the amazing power that's mine if I can't have the sun set in the east? If I can't reduce the sum of the suffering and make an end of death? No, Caesonia, it's all one whether I sleep or keep awake if I've no power to tamper with the scheme of things. But that's madness, sheer madness. It's wanting to be a god on earth. So you too think I'm mad, and yet what is a god that I should wish to be his equal? No, it's something higher, far above the gods, that I'm aiming at, longing for with all my heart and soul. I am taking over a kingdom where the impossible is king. You can't prevent the sky from being the sky, or a fresh young face from aging, or a man's heart from growing old. I want I want to drown the sky in the sea, to infuse ugliness with beauty, to wring a laugh from pain. There's good and bad, high and low, justice and injustice, and I swear to you these will never change. And I'm resolved to change them. I shall make this age of ours a kingly gift, the gift of equality. And when all is leveled out, when the impossible has come to earth, and the moon is in my hands, then perhaps I shall be transfigured, and the world renewed. Then men will die no more, and at least be happy. And love? Surely you won't go back on love. Love, Casonia. I've learned the truth about love. It's nothing. Nothing. That fellow was quite right. You heard what he said, didn't you? It's only the treasury that counts, the fountainhead of all. Ah, now at last I'm going to live, really live. And living, my dear, is the opposite of loving. I know what I'm talking about. And I invite you to the most gorgeous of shows, a sight for gods to gloat on, a whole world called to judgment. But for that I must have a crowd, spectators, victims, criminals, hundreds and thousands of them. Let the accused come forward. I want my criminals, and they all are criminals. Bring in the condemned men. I must have my public, judges, witnesses, accused, all sentenced to death without a hearing. Yes, Casonia, I'll show them something they have never seen before, the one free man in the Roman Empire. And you, Casonia, shall obey me. You must stand by me to the end. It will be marvelous, you'll see. Swear to stand by me, Casonia. I needn't swear. You know I love you. You'll do all I tell you. All. All, Caligula. But do, please stop. You will be cruel. Cruel. Cold and ruthless. Ruthless. And you will suffer too. Yes, yes. Oh, no, please. I'm going mad, I think. Come here. All of you. Nearer. Nearer. Still. Your emperor commands you to come nearer. Quickly. And you, Casonia, come beside me. All gone. You see, my dear, an end of memories. No more masks. Nothing. Nobody left. Nobody. No, that's not true. Look, Casonia. Come here, all of you, look. Caligula. Yes. Caligula.